taking Apple logo into the 2020s with Melody and April. Frozen Face.
Logo was designed for learning, and it's unique in this respect. No other language was designed for that purpose. Basic and its variants, such as Pilot, which are most commonly used, were made for totally different purposes and were handed on like cast-off clothing. We tried to achieve a number of goals. First of all, that it should be easily accessible. There should be corners of the language that you can get into, like baby talk getting into English, that are easy for the youngest beginner. But it shouldn't be a toy language. It's not that Logo is easy. It's easy to get into. But once you're in there, you can progress to the most sophisticated ideas.
The question is not what Logo does to a generalized, passive person who undergoes a Logo experience.
Oh, nice.
The question is what an active learner can do with Logo. What an active teacher can make out of it.
Nice creation, huh?
We never ask what the computer does to people. We always ask, what can people make of the computer?
Do you understand how it works?
That's good. I was wondering what it was going to do.
Of course, what you make of the computer depends on what resources you have. Intellectual tools, people, cultures. Logo is just such a tool that you could use to make great works, or to make mediocre works, or to make nothing at all. In a Logo environment, children learn about angles by exploring. They don't have to be told the mathematical facts. They discover them.
How about 50? Or no. Wait, what was our last time? 75?
Maybe it's better to say you get inside it. You're really there with it. You're part of it. I think that factors like this play an essential role in what's special about the best kinds of Logo learning environments.
So I was a Logo kid, and when I was younger, I did a lot of Logo in school, and then when I got older, like in the last few years, we developed an Apple II emulator called Micromate, and one of the things that I was using it, and I got into looking at using Logo again. And one of the things about Micromate, one of the things that it does, is that it allows you to actually sort of move the graphics around in 3D that you render on the Apple II. So I was doing that, and then I got the idea that, well, why don't we actually create a version of Logo as part of the emulator that, you know, allows you to actually move the turtle in 3D. So we did that. And that's the Logo that's actually part of Micromate currently. But then the question became, you know, well, what happens if you even take it further? Seymour Papert's vision of Logo was, you know, low entry, high ceiling, or, you know, or no ceiling. So the question became, well, what happens if we, you know, take Apple Logo and you know, as it was in the early 1980s, and then use modern technology to realize, you know, to see what you could do with that now. And so this is the sort of result of that, you know, extrapolation, and we call it turtleSpaces. And turtleSpaces is sort of taking that further and putting in all of this additional Logo, like all of this additional functionality into what is at its root Apple Logo. So, for example, we have, I think, 40 some odd shape primitives that allow you to create all sorts of OpenGL shapes, from spheres to voxels to voxeloids to domes to you know to all sorts of things. I mean, even the wings are on this airplane are one shape that is a sort of a stretched shape. So that's, you know, another avenue that kids will now have, is that they can, you know, construct these models in Logo, and it is still, you know, straightforward Logo, just with the addition of additional commands. Oops. We've also leveraged the multitasking capabilities of the underlying language Go, so that you can, you know, use, you know, hundreds of turtles. So, for example, these trees are being generated by, you know, hundreds of little turtles all splitting off into, you know, even more turtles and even more turtles. And,
Turtles all the way down.
yeah. And lots and lots and lots of turtles. So, another example of a two-player game with two different turtles, and the camera is itself a turtle, so it can be programmed directly the same way you would program a turtle to move around the scene and react the way that you like. So and any turtle can also be a light, so turtles can be lights, which is also nice. So here's another example of a you know, Logo game that is a 3D first-person game. So it's just basically doing a drunkard's walk to generate a minis. It takes it a few seconds. This is, you know, fairly straightforward code. That's very easy to get into because you don't need much in the way of preamble or anything else, and you can actually run these things in interactive mode too, if you like. And there we go, and each one of the little bad guys here is a turtle, happily wandering around the maze, and we go into the game, and we run around, and oops. And one more we'll look at. It's called Gridlock. And this is another sort of type of maze game, except the idea is to move your little car around. And I think people are starting to get the picture enough. So, yeah, and so there's a lot there. We've been working on it for about a year, so it has close to 1,000. It has close to 1,000 commands at this point. We were hoping to get it out today, like a preview version out today, but it's looking more like tomorrow afternoon, KansasFest time.
Yeah.
So people will be able to play with it, and yeah. So just wanted to show that, and yeah, we're hoping that it'll get some kids back into Logo again, because you keep disappearing.
I know.
It's it's magic.
Platform did you say this runs on?
It runs on Windows, Mac OS, same as Microbait, because it actually uses the same backdrop, and there's actually still 6502 emulation code kicking around in there somewhere. So it runs on Windows, Macintosh, and Linux, and will be part of our appeal. We're hoping is that we're going to create runtimes for iOS and Android as well. So kids will be able to create games in Logo, and then load them onto their phone and play with them.
Great. All right. Any questions from the attendees for them? Somebody thought this was something that would just be a step short of doing something you could do 3D printing with then too.
Yeah, we're hoping that's one of the things on the list is to be able to is to be able to export the 3D models to a 3D printer. Yeah, so we're sort of exploring all the avenues that we can, but we were surprised that there wasn't really much in the freeform 3D space in logo interpreters. There's I think a now unsupported logo interpreter that sort of did a 3D view of a 2D thing called Star Logo, but yeah, it's just nobody's bothered picking Logo up. So
where can people find more information about this then?
Well, just in the channel for in our channel for the moment, and tomorrow afternoon will be where we'll put links to the binaries if people want to download a preview version and check it out.
Okay, now that's not running in Micromated, but it's another kind of an emulator you have.
Yeah. Well, it's another program that we spun out of Micromate. So
right.
Because we had built the sort of simple 3D logo in Micromate, they're obviously it'd be too complicated to have all of this stuff attached to Micromate, so we split it off into a separate thing, which we'll make available to KansasFest attendees tomorrow afternoon.
Fantastic.
All right, well, thank you.
All right, thank you for your talk.